Okay, quick little video on my modelling hobby room. So this desk was originally before I retired. I used to work from home occasionally as a surveyor, and I'd need my laptop, so my laptop was all on this desk. And then it slowly grew, and now my modelling gear takes over the whole desk. So my laptop's now over there next to the printer. There's my current stash. Blackbird, which I've just finished. A couple of little dioramas that I've done. That's one I've just bought at the East Kent model show. Yeah, so some of the tools I use, got measuring tools, metal ruler, protractor, masking tape. This is a T-strainer, but I use it for static grass. I've got some more kits up here. This is sort of generic figures and stuff that I use for scenery. So like you got sandbags, oil drums, there's barricades, there's brick walls, various bits that I use. Captain Scarlet. Paints. So I've got quite a few paints now. I started off with just a few, but then you slowly build them up. So these are, what are these? These are my model colour paints. These are my Tamiya paints. These are the ones that I use. These are actually double, so when some of these run out, these are ones that I use quite a lot of, so I've got spares. These are my washes, fuel washes, grime washes, rust washes, panel washes. These are my fluorescents, so yellow, blue, I think I've got orange, red for like doing indicator lights and things like that. Some more washes. In here I've got my what are they called? I can never pronounce this, but they're basically oil paints. I've got a few of those, all the usual colours, brown umber and stuff like that. Tools, I've got various tweezers, various nippers, my little hand drill, my little Tamiya drill, which is great. That is actually a kit from Tamiya, but it makes an actual working drill that's great for doing small holes. That's what I'm currently working on, the little Tiger Tank 1/72 brow scale. I made a poor job of it. It was one of the first models I did when I got back into modelling, but I've upgraded the weathering, and I'm just about to add some stowage. Paint tins, thinners, there's static grass behind there. I think this is primer, yeah. I've got my new display vise, which I like. It's very, very handy for small things. In here I've got various varnishes, obviously my Q-tips or cotton buds, cocktail sticks, toothpicks, things like that, which are great for putting tiny dabs of paint on. I've got my microsol, my micro set for decals. I've got my little painting trays. I've got various glues in here. I think these are super glues, and at the back I've got some more deco set and deco sol. Here I've got some primers, black primer, white primer, grey primer. I've got some super glue for photo etch. I've got my little needle files, more masking tape, my scissors for cutting decals. In here I've got a photo etch bending tool, which I've only used once. Various sanding sticks. So I've got the little thin ones, the display, various grade ones, sort of nail file type ones. In here I've got all the display, various they're actually the sanding blocks and the sanders that go on them. I use them quite a bit, they're quite handy. Sort of modular system. So here I've got my paintbrushes, spare parts and things in here, just various bits of model that I've used before and I might use again. Face masks. Up here I've got my black rubber gloves when I'm painting. I've got a nice stand, that's great for holding cars and motorbikes and things like that. I've got some oil thinners for the oil paints, more Q-tips. Here I've got various pencils which are great for doing metal surfaces, my little pipettes for adding thinners to paints. I've got various, I've got a little, basically a mini trowel for when I'm using filler, diorama filler to do a base, and various sort of moulding tools. I've also got one of those bases with the little clip so you can hold things, but to be honest I hardly ever use it. Instead I use this one, this block of foam with the toothpicks with a bit of blue tack on. I tend to use those rather than the little mini clamps. Whoops, sorry, fingers in the way there. In here I've got more paints. I've got the Revel Aqua colour paints. I've got fluorescent paints for doing like indicator lights, things like that. I've got more glue up there, Tamiya extra thin, more toothpicks, various things in here, Mod Podge, that's ammo, water gel, scenic spray for fixing everything when you put your static grass and everything on a diorama, isopropyl alcohol, that I think is airbrush flow improver. So what I do is put a couple of drops of that in here. So this is my sort of working jar of water. I mean, it's filthy at the moment, but when I'm painting, I give the brushes a quick wipe in there. But a couple of the drops of the airbrush flow improver seems to help with getting the paint off the brushes and keeps them clean. What else have I got? I've got my display vacuum. Got my Display electric cordless sander. I've got various spare parts, spare tracks, bits and pieces that I may or may not need. Painting trays. I've got my aircraft stand, thinners in here. I've got the diorama stuff. So I've got it's almost like a filler. This is like a mud filler. I've got some more foliage green behind. I've got some static grass and foliage dark green, medium green. And here again, these two tubs have just got spare parts, bits of sprue, you know, bits of model that I haven't used. My lights, I've got this one which is movable, and it's got various brightness settings, and you just touch it and it comes on and off. So that lights the working area from one side, and then I've got this light which is also a magnifying glass, which again has got various settings. It's got quite a heavy base, so once it's on the desk it doesn't move. And I've also got this little one which just you can obviously move around, and it's just for highlighting from directly above. What else have I got? So underneath I use bits of cardboard, so I keep bits of cardboard, and when I'm actually working like here I actually put cardboard on there, and it sort of saves my cutting boards. Obviously I use my cutting boards when I'm cutting stuff, but generally for working I just use a bit of cardboard. What else have I got underneath? So I've got various bits of balsa. I've got a roll of very thin veneer, which I may or may not use for edging dioramas. Actually, I did one here on this little diorama. This is my vintage Airfix HMS Fearless. I used the... Oh no, that was balsa. I'm lying. Sorry, that was balsa wood. But I think I may have done... Oh yeah, this one up here. Okay, so this... It's a little diorama of two ships, and I used the edging there is the very thin laminate. There's a couple of models up here that I've completed. This is basically my model shelf. There's a patrol boat, a 1/16 paratrooper, a 1/16 German infantryman in winter gear, a couple of little planes, a duck amphibious vehicle, I think that's a Churchill tank. There's my half track, Kuba wagon. I think, oh, that's my Blackbird, Honda Blackbird motorbike. And a few fake Banksies. Obviously they're not real. And obviously Steve McQueen in the corner. Camera gear, so I've got my tripod. And I do take photos of my gear. My camera gear is in here. I've just got me Nikon DSLR and various lenses. Got a macro lens and a normal lens and a zoom lens and all the bits that go with that. And underneath I've also got a box just of spare bits. So this is board for dioramas, more balsa wood, watercolour paper. This is good if you're doing water. So basically you have your baseboard, then you put some thick watercolour paper on top and paint that before you put your water gel or whatever for your water effects, and it goes a nice sort of ripply effect. Some more sort of foliage. I've got some spare trees which you can add foliage to. I've got some foliage. And I've got various bits of card and paper and thicker cocktail sticks and all sorts in there. So that's just a box of spares. And that is about it. This model was, I'm supposed to be doing a Battle of Britain group build, and that was going to be my entry, but I just haven't got round to doing it yet because I'm gone back to doing the Tiger tank. But yeah, and that is about it. I think I've got some black edging there. That's stick-on black edging, which again I may use this roll here. I may use for dioramas. I've got some thick. This is actually lining paper that you put on your walls when you're decorating. I bought a roll of it. You get a roll of it for about £2, you know, and there's tons of it. And again, you can use it on here if I'm taking photographs as a nice plain background. You can put it on here. And the most important thing of any model making area is the cup of tea, which I haven't drunk yet. So yeah, that's my model making area. I'm trying not to grow it anymore because there's not a lot of room. This is our smallest bedroom. Get the chair out of the way. I've just got a very small sofa bed. It's a sofa, but it can also fold down as a bed. But there's not really much more room in here. That corner's pretty much taken up. So yeah, anyway, that's my hobby area, model space, whatever you want to call it. Just thought it might be handy some people to, I mean, I like looking at other people's model areas, so I assume that some people might like looking at mine. If not, then delete the video. I was bored, I had 10 minutes to spare, so I thought I'd film it. Okay, so that's it. Cheers, bye.